All right, so here we go, guys. This is how you know people don't care as much as they should care. Andrew Yang recently went on The Breakfast Club. When I say recently, I mean like yesterday. And it was a segment, well, it was an interview. Now remember, this is not the first time that Andrew Yang has been on The Breakfast Club. He's sitting there on a radio station for the urban market, one of the most watched or most viewed urban stations. It's not owned by black people, but you got a black host and a black co-host and another black female co-host, but I don't think she was there. So it looks black anyway, right? And a lot of black or Latinos and cool white kids, young people listen to it, right? Okay. But the thing is that Andrew Yang has been on here before, and he already knows, at least he should already know, there's going to be some questions about black people. Because that's who watches the show, and the people who host the show, they're like, hey, well, we got to ask you questions that black people want to know, because if we don't, we'll get crucified. We got to ask these questions. Now, you might not listen to Breakfast Club, or you might not watch this stuff, but it's the same show that asked Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton got caught up in 2016 with the hot sauce in her purse. It's also the same show that had Kamala Harris get caught up saying that she smoked weed, even though she locked people up for smoking weed. That she was listening to Tupac records before Tupac was even out. Stuff like that. It's also the same show where Bernie Sanders went on and they got smacked himself about reparations, and he didn't really have a good response for a black agenda. And on and on. Elizabeth Warren got caught up on Native Americans and her history of saying she was when she wasn't. So The Breakfast Club is a show that's going to ask you black questions, and anything you got in your closet, they're going to ask about that too. That thing that you don't want them to ask, they're going to ask. That's what they do. I can't play the sound on this video because I'm afraid, well, I know for a fact that The Breakfast Club does not like us using their video or using their audio. So what I had to do is get a transcription service called Rev.com. I'm also a member of Rev.com. So I have a link in the description where if you use their stuff, let them know you came from me and they'll give you a discount. So here goes the actual transcript from the conversation, a portion of the conversation between Charlamagne and Andrew Yang. Let's take it from the top. Charlamagne starts it off. He says, how can you win black voters? Because like the black vote is very important this year, especially in places like Alabama, where they have primaries over 60% black. Yang responds, we have to get the message out to black voters in particular that we need to do better by people of color in particular. Because right now, these automation trends that I'm so worried about are going to impact black people the hardest. There was one study that said that I said this last time I was here, that African-American median net worth is going to be 0 in 2053. Because of that fact, we're going to get rid of a lot of the most common jobs. And if you think of a natural disaster, who suffers the most? Black people. Communities of color, of people that don't have cars to drive, drive away in. The same is going to be true of this economic natural disaster that's coming. That to me is going to be black people that lead the way, in part because black people see that we need to humanize the economy as quickly as possible and give our kids a fighting chance. I can agree with all that, says Charlamagne, but how do we get the black community to vote? Not out of fear, but because you're actually going to do something for them. Yang's response is, well, a lot of it I think is, the further I go, the more people think I can win. And then I get more support because I get it. Like early on, you'd be like, okay, this guy's saying some things I agree with, but can he contend? Can he win? But I'm still here growing, when like half a dozen senators and governors are already out of the race. Like when the debates go on and you still see this guy, and you have enough of us get together, we can actually make the big changes at the top. We can't nibble at the margins. We've been nibbling. We actually haven't been nibbling successfully. for 30, 40, 50 years, and the debt has grown, and it's time to pay it off. Okay. Gracious. All right. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I would have much rather liked to play the clip for you. I would have much rather let it be in his own voice. But like I said, I can't. I don't own the rights to it. I can't play it. But that's exactly what Andrew Yang said. And it was horrific. It was horrific because Andrew Yang has had an opportunity to prepare for this interview with Charlamagne the God. He's been on here before. He knows they're going to ask you, what do you have in the way of a black agenda? And you should have an answer. Have a spin, have a something, and he did not have that. Now, I would like to point out that Andrew Yang is not the only person who did badly when asked these types of questions at a point in time. Some of you may remember back that there was a time when Bernie Sanders was asked questions about reparations, and he had a similar fumble. You know who called it out? You know who complained about it? You know who said that Bernie had to get better on that issue? Me. Because I actually want him to get better on the issue. I actually wanted him to improve because I actually am not just defending Bernie. I want him to effing win. And if you're going to inspire people, if you're going to deliver something that makes people excited and for them to want to support your campaign, you got to understand what's important to the people. What I've been seeing, guys, is horrific. These people don't even really want their guy to win. They just don't want you to say anything bad about him. And that, to me, is a disservice. Now, I get it. Like, I'm different. I'm not a regular person who just watches content. I have a platform, and I feel like it's my responsibility to push candidates in the right direction. It's not all fun and games. You think I don't want Andrew Yang to articulate a solution for black folks? I do want him to articulate a solution for black folks. If he presents a popular solution that people like, other candidates will have to adjust to it. And it's better for the country. So unlike the people that condemn, who talk a lot of smack, and I get it. I've been here for 6-7 years. I know how it works, man. That's what you guys do. But you don't understand at all what the overall objective is. The overall objective is for Andrew Yang to be a better candidate. This is real. This is not a game. You don't just go on a show and have nothing. And if you sit back and you watch people like Bernie Sanders get destroyed basically online about this issue, if you watch Kamala Harris get roasted for it, if you watch Elizabeth Warren get smacked up on the Breakfast Club, if you watched Hillary Clinton basically, I would say, not mortally wound her campaign, but took significant damage, like she needed cheat codes to get out of that, why would you just approach this like it doesn't matter? Unless you don't think it really does matter. Case in point. After Bernie Sanders caught a lot of heat for his inability to articulate sufficiently about reparations, he changed his course. Bernie Sanders said he signed a bill to research reparations for descendants of slaves if he was elected president. This is what he announced when he went to it was a meeting. Senator Bernie Sanders on Friday said he would sign a bill to research reparations for descendants of slavery. The bill, sponsored by Democratic Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, would set up a commission to study reparations. If the House and Senate passed the bill, of course, I would sign it. There needs to be a study, Sanders said at the National Action Network conference in New York City. This is the type of This is the type of response you want from your candidate. You want your candidate to evolve. You want them to get better. You want them to respect the criticism because it comes from a good place. It's real. You can't win the Democratic nomination without the support of large amounts of black people. White people in this country vote Republican more than they vote Democrat. There will never be another Democratic president if black people don't vote for them in large numbers. It won't happen. It can't happen. So if you're trying to get an Andrew Yang or a Tulsi Gabbard or a Bernie Sanders or an Elizabeth Warren or whoever you're trying to get, if they're running as a Democratic nominee or in the Democratic nomination, they're going to need black people. They're going to need larger groups of black people to make up for all the white people who are going to vote for Trump. And for you to look at me like I'm the enemy because I point out you can't win this way. I thought you said you thought you had a shot. I thought you guys say you got a shot. If you got a shot, then I need you to get better on this issue. And if I can hold the candidate that I favor, and I could put out a video taking them to task, if I can be vocal about them needing to clean it up, get on point, have a better response than, I don't know, then I can expect that of Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Tulsi Gabbard, and anybody else who runs. And if I don't call it out, unlike some of the people that won't call out anything about their candidates, who will just defend, well, you know what, to me, when you do that, that just goes to show it's about you. It's not about your candidate. And it's about you. It's not about saving this country or making this country better. Because if your candidate don't get better, your candidate ain't going to win. And it's that simple. So you may disagree with me, but at least now you know where I stand. And instead of you projecting onto me and my people and my Tim Black Wolf Pack your negative feelings, your negative thoughts, your own bigotry, your own butthurtedness, your own victim, whatever that is you got going on, now you know the real deal. I happen to want a better country. I happen to want equality. I'm willing to be unpopular. I'm willing to be trolled. I'm willing to be even beat up by my own people occasionally, if it means I get it or if I help it happen. Because I'm just not here to pick up a paycheck. If I did, I'd still be in the corporate world working a 9 to 5. So Andrew Yang, hey, rookie mistake. Get better immediately or get the hell out the race. And that goes for anybody who can't talk to black people but want black people to vote for them. And scaring black people, them days is done. If they're not scared of Trump, they ain't scared of you, dog. Oh, well, if you don't vote for me, it's really scary for blacks. Well, we already got Trump. How much more scary can it be? What you gonna do? Oh, we already got him. So, to unget him, we have to vote for somebody who, when we bring up black issues, you act like you don't speak English, like you don't understand, like there's a breakdown in communication. You never thought of it before. Screw that. And it's not, look, and one last thing. Also, let's not forget, Kamala Harris went on the Breakfast Club and she said, I ain't doing nothing for black people. And what happened to her campaign? See, people, and I've given Tulsi Gabbard a lot of credit for calling out Kamala Harris. But you know who hurt Kamala Harris more than Tulsi Gabbard? Kamala Harris. With horrible hot takes. Did you enjoy that content? I know you did. You got great taste, Johnson. What can I say? Become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack today right here on YouTube, or go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, and you'll get free stuff, special stuff, secret stuff. Do it today. Wolf Pack.